The following training is sponsored by the Niagara Library System. We serve our member libraries in Niagara, Orleans, and Genesee counties. You can always visit our main web page listed here at niagara.org, or certainly visit your local library homepage and use your library card to get access to streaming videos, downloadable music, audiobooks, ebooks, and even more from the comfort of your own home. Thank you.
Hello. Okay, so I had skipped over the problem solving section of the soft skills, so this was back to series 7. No, you're not missing anything. I skipped it. So with problem solving, more than only thinking outside the box, it does include the assessment of the tone of your content. Tact, timing, and tone are always very important. And you need to set the intention of your content before you create it. Shorter is not always better, but as I mentioned before, a laser focus on the point is absolutely necessary. So for this video, I'm going to go in a slightly different direction. Let's take a problem and figure out one or two ways to actually fix it. So the issue that has come up time after time in calls and things like that is how might we best serve our patrons with specific reference questions without using the internet. Now, let's not panic. They're not going to email us the question. They would actually, normally these would be people would come into the library, would chit chat, they would ask the question, and then we would give answers. So we're not talking email, we're not talking online meetings, we're not talking computers. Hi. The only options available to us are either phones or regular mail. Regular mail is okay. It's not bad, but it's a little bit slow, but it still could be used. But what I wanted to introduce you to was something called the Google Voice app. It's been around for a while, but I think it might be particularly useful for people at this time. It works across devices. It does work with Apple, Android, and Windows. It, of course, works best with Android because Google and Android work together really well. And so what I did was I went to the Play Store for Google. You can go, of course, to the App Store for Apple and search specifically here. You can see it on the screen for Google Voice. And straight from the description, Google Voice gives you a phone number for calling, text messaging, and voicemail. It works on smartphones and computers and syncs across your devices so you can use the app in the office, at home, or on the go. Note, Google Voice only works with personal Google accounts in the U.S. and G Suite accounts in select markets. This is more for international. We don't have to worry about all of that. It works here in the States. You can get spam filtered automatically, and you can block numbers you don't want to hear from. You can manage your time with personalized settings for call forwarding, text messages, and voicemail. Everything is backed up and searchable. Calls, text messages, and voicemails are stored and backed up to make it easy to search your call history. You can manage messages across your devices, send and receive individual and group SMS, that is, of course, short message service. It's a text message for all your devices. And what I thought was really cool, so I highlighted it. If you get a voicemail, it's transcribed, which could be really cool because I hate listening to voicemails, but I do when I need to, of course. Google Voice provides advanced voicemail transcriptions that you can read in the app and or have sent to your email. You can, of course, save on international calling. Keep in mind, Google Voice is currently only available in the U.S., and Google Voice for G Suite users is available in select countries. And then, of course, you might get charged for international minutes or if you're traveling or whatnot. So if you're using your personal phone for this and you're traveling, just keep that in mind. So the interesting thing I thought about this or found out too from some other outreach coordinators across New York State is that you can actually download Google Voice. You can program it to have your library's main phone number and then the picture of the library as the avatar for the number for the account. And I found a couple of articles. I have links here. I will put them in the video description below, and from PC World and from Tech Junkie, how to actually go ahead and set up Google Voice, and then how to use Google Voice for desktop for Windows. Now, on a simpler note, maybe you don't want to do that. You might buy a temporary phone, also known as a burner phone, and have the library's number actually forwarded to that particular phone for now. You can do this with a regular phone too, if you like, but if you wanted to invest, phones are fairly inexpensive. You could invest in the phone and the minutes and have it as a temporary phone. There are also questions, and there have been several questions on virtual meetings and what meeting software is actually safest to use nowadays. I did a couple things on Zoom, talking about that you can have Zoom bombers, people can actually tap in, and there wasn't really end-to-end encryption. Which is really important. That kind of stuff is really important when you're talking about, I'll get to this, your financial data, medical information, protected information. For us, for libraries, especially within the Niagara library system, because Google manages our Niagara accounts, all of those Niagara emails, okay, we have free access to Google Hangouts, Google Duo, and Meet. And that's a new one on the left side of the screen. So if you log into your email and then you look on the left side of the screen, you actually see it says new and it says start a meeting or join a meeting. I've tried this a couple times and it seemed like Hangouts was a little bit easier to use for people. But it's always something new to try, which can be really good. So, okay. Again, now for anything that would be considered protected information, I would recommend a regular phone call. So if you're talking to your doctor, you're talking to a financial advisor, you're talking whatever, if you're really concerned, you can always get a VPN. If you're not sure what that is, we'll talk about that in the next video. Take care.